And welcome back to the show. It is a joy for me to have Fiona Bond here in the studio, high atop the Aleigh building. It's fun to have you here. Fiona, of course, the executive director of Creative Waco, kind of a founding, got this thing off the ground. And we were talking about how long it's been since we visited about Creative Waco and just what having a creative arts district, what all this means for the city, particularly over the years that you've been involved with it. Now, 10?
Yes, we have been going for 10 years. And thank you so much for inviting me on. It's, yes, there have been some changes since we started Creative Waco, and even since I last had a chance to talk to you about what we've been doing.
Yeah, well, so let's start with the newest first. So what's the newest thing you're doing? And we're going to get into all the different aspects of Creative Waco and even how it all got started. But there's like a new membership type thing you were telling me?
Yes, we actually have launched. This was partly because I think now Waco has changed so much.
Yeah.
And even people who have lived in Waco a long time are always asking me, hey, how do I find out what's going on? How do I become part of this, this amazing blossoming cultural scene, which we're now seeing? There are 9 theatre groups. There are...
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Just the number of theatre
just
groups.
In theatre, yes.
Yeah.
Lots of visual artists, lots of new murals, all kinds of things happening all the time. Like right now, we Falcon and Owl, who are one of our partners, they have an exhibition of one of the preeminent Cuban American artists who did an incredible performance with a live performance with an improvisational musician, painted a painting while the musician played, and then they auctioned off that piece, and the proceeds will go partly to support Creative Waco.
Good.
But all kinds of things like that are just kind of happening. And so people often ask me, how do I find out
Right, you
what's
hate to
going
read
on?
about it after the fact. You're
Exactly.
like, rats, I would have gone.
So, and really this was kind of a blending of two things, because we also have a number of people just saying, hey, how can I support all of the arts things that are flourishing in our community? So we came up with a simple solution to both. It's a membership program, and it's called Creative Spark. And if you become a member of Creative Spark, each month you get an email and then several invitations to a whole portfolio of events across every art form each month, and also a cohort of people to go to those events with. So we offer discounted tickets for theatre performances. Symphony has special deals. We have, all kinds of exclusive and VIP events. We get to do studio visits to artists. We get to see people kind of behind the scenes. We get to see how the sausage is made, for things like music and for concerts. And we often get to, like, one of our events was sampling some new whiskies, which had just been developed by Chip Tate, along with a menu alongside that by Corey McIntyre, who runs Milo.
Oh, yeah, at Milo.
And that was, it was kind of a different kind of creative event.
Yeah. But
so, yes, and that was a lot of fun.
Culinary arts.
Culinary and, spirit arts. We called it Spirit of Waco.
Arts. Okay.
So all
How
kinds of
neat
things
is
like that.
Yeah.
And often people, a lot of people are on their own or don't necessarily want to have to pull a whole group together to go and enjoy something.
Right.
And so Creative Spark is a way that you can dive into all of these events without necessarily having to find somebody to go with, because we've got a ready-made group. They get to know each other. It's a fantastic group. They're all movers and shakers, leaders in our community. So it's immense fun. We actually, we just had the film festival a couple of weeks ago, and so the Creative Sparks got to go to the VIP party.
Yeah, that was loads of fun.
Oh, it was so much fun. And so all kinds of fun.
Well,
fun
so
stuff.
much that Creative Waco has done. Well, having Waco designated a film-friendly certified community at one point. That was, I think, 2017. It's been a while back. Yeah.
Well, and it turned out to be very prescient because the state of Texas has just awarded $300 million every biennium for the next 10 years to incentivize filmmaking.
For Waco, because filmmakers then were taken all around lovely spots to decide to maybe shoot their film.
A lot of the filmmakers from the film festival end up making their movies here in
Yeah.
Waco and
Just
McLennan
fun.
County. Not only is it fun, but it's tremendous for our economy.
Mm.
So, our mission as an organization is to really make sure that that education to industry pipeline for things like film industry, music industry, fashion industry, all of those industries that are supported by creatives, that we have a pipeline for people to succeed, and also in creative careers. So, that if you are a budding musician, a composer, or a studio musician, you can have your career and your success right here. Same with visual artists, same with actors, writers, the whole gamut of creative careers and professions. We want people to be able to thrive here. And we want to be able to benefit from that.
Oh yeah, it all works both ways for sure. When you and your family came to Waco, your husband with Baylor University
Yes.
in the religion department. I
Yes,
believe.
he's a professor in New Testament. He's an expert in the emergence of Christianity in Greco-Roman culture.
Well, and so when you came and were reading an interview that you'd done with Wacoan a while back, because you were the 2020 Wacoan of the year.
Wacoan of the year. I was
Congratulations
immensely honored.
again for that front
Thank
cover
you.
and all that. But but Baylor had sort of been trying to woo your husband for a while, and you were like, not moving to Waco.
Yes.
And then you just sort of, well, let's give it a look. Let's give it a look.
It was me that said, when he was saying, hey, there are some really good people working at Baylor. I think it's, a place I'd really be interested in looking. And I'm going, I don't know if I can move to Waco, Texas. I know it's maybe not so obvious, but I'm not originally from here.
What was my first clue? Yeah.
We were living in St. Andrews in Scotland at the time. Beautiful medieval city.
And you were working through Baylor with that, right? It was the Baylor. You were doing something with Baylor?
A little bit. It was actually more Bruce, because he set up the Baylor in St. Andrews program from the St. Andrews side.
Yeah.
I was working in a city called Dundee, which it was affectionately known historically as the cultural armpit of Scotland. And I was lucky enough to be part of the reimagining of Dundee. It became, within 10 years, it became a UNESCO City of Design, and became the location for the new Victoria and Albert Museum of Design for Scotland. Absolutely stunning city now. It went from hemorrhaging talent to, being a talent pool. And all of that, as soon as I saw Waco, I really saw a city that was on that same trajectory potentially, and that was already beginning to happen. And the more people that we met, fortunately Baylor brought both of us out to see if Baylor and Waco might be a fit for us. And honestly, I fell in love with Waco at that point, realized that actually there were so many parallels with what I had been doing, and was then, fortunate enough to be introduced to a load of people who were really imagining what Waco's future would look like. And because of the work I had done, I got looped into some of those conversations. I got to meet the incredible people who were already running, the symphony, the theatres, the arts festival, Doreen, of course, and the amazing work she's done over time, and the Arts Centre, of course, as well. So, I got to meet the creme de la creme of Waco's art scene very early on, and really realised that actually for a city this size, it was already punching above its weight.
Right.
That just wasn't part of the kind of identity, it wasn't kind of pulled together as this is actually somewhere that could be a cultural destination. It could be a place that people want to live, work and visit because of its cultural and artistic identity.
And your experience there, just sort of preparing the way, because you'd seen what can happen, what can be done.
Absolutely.
Your very first job, though, out of college, you were conducting a poetry festival?
Yes.
I mean, that's pretty cool, getting to meet, amazing poets. And
sometimes there are things that we get to do because we are not smart or experienced enough to say
Just
no.
Yeah. That's right. Okay, I'll do it.
I was so young and so inexperienced, and I had no idea what I was getting into. I had run stuff before, and I'd run some mini festivals and camps and like all kinds of things for youth mainly. And when I had the opportunity to run this literature festival, I, without thinking too hard, I said, yes, of course I can do that. And suddenly found myself, surrounded by, award-winning poets and like all these giants of the literature realm who I then had to create events for and market them to in a northeastern former coal mining town, which was that was another different kind of a challenge, but it actually proved to be a really incredible experience. Nobel Prize winners on the one side, coal miners on the other. And actually, there is always something that poetry can say to the human experience. And, there are an awful lot of coal miners that are closet poets. Who knew?
Who knew? Yeah. That's wonderful. And I love seeing that coming together of kind of divergent type. And that, of course, I want to, on behalf of the Waco Symphony, thank Creative Waco for its support, with a grant to what the symphony is doing. But again, kind of what we're trying to do is get different seats in those in those concert hall seats. Yeah.
Well, and just like that work where, poetry did not seem like an obvious fit for some of the population that I was working with. I think, sometimes we forget that live music, and especially that experience of the symphony, there's a whole generation that has not yet discovered the magic of that, or are just in the process of discovering that. So one of the things that I think is just so engaging about the arts is it's always a moment of connection. Whatever we're experiencing, whether we're at an exhibition, whether we're sitting in a concert, whether we are experiencing a film, whether we are part of making something, it is always this opportunity to connect with something very profound that somebody is showing us through the way they're performing, through what they've written, through what they're presenting to us. And, we live in a society, especially post-pandemic, where connection has become kind of a forgotten skill in some ways.
Well, and in a lot of ways, these things are keeping us more separated.
Yes.
And there's a lack of connection, as you say.
Absolutely. And that shared experience is our way of finding commonality, finding trust, finding faith. I mean, all of the things that raise humans up and make us better tomorrow than we were yesterday are found in the arts. And that is, I love what I do because I love the arts. I find joy in it. But I think there's something really profound about making sure that we are reconnecting, re-engaging, and rather than seeing the world through the eyes of, we have to solve us and them, which I think is often like how our condition is characterized as humans. Life would be fine if they weren't the problem. The arts kind of cut through that and they inoculate us against seeing people who are not like us as being a problem, but inviting us into shared experiences where we become better because we understand from someone else's lens.
I love that. That is profound. But I knew what you would have to share with us would be profound. So many things I want to talk to you about when it comes to how Creative Waco got started and all the different aspects of what you do. You got lots of things happening in the community, and we will get to that when we come back. So you stay with us.
Smoke Pub was created by a group of friends who share a passion for great whiskey and cocktails. Frustrated by the lack of easy-to-use cocktail smokers, we set out to design something better. Our goal was simple: make smoking cocktails quick, clean, and fun. After countless experiments, we developed Smoke Pub, the world's first electric cocktail smoker. Join us on this exciting journey and discover the magic of Smoke Pub, where unforgettable cocktails begin.
I just got my Colgate Advanced LED Whitening Treatment in the mail, and I am very excited to have dramatically whiter teeth in just 10 days. My teeth are going to be 6 shades whiter. The treatment is enamel safe and hassle-free. It's even designed for my sensitive teeth. Let's open it up. Inside we have the blue light whitening device. It's a charger for after each treatment as well. There's a full 10-day supply, and it looks easy to apply. Order yours today at shop.colgate.com.
This is the Sonos Arc Ultra, and this is what you need to know about. It represents one of the easiest ways to get into high quality home cinema without loads of cables and faffing around. And that's because the Arc Ultra provides full Dolby Atmos without any rear speakers thanks to its sound motion technology. And Sonos is actually calling sound motion one of the most significant breakthroughs in audio engineering in nearly 100 years. It's an amazing setup, it sounds absolutely fantastic. I love the absence of fat. If you're a Sonos person, there's a reason you're watching this video.
And we are back with Fiona Bond, who, of course, Creative Waco. If you look up Creative Waco, you see a picture of Fiona. And so let's talk about how it all got started. I know there was like some seed money help from both Cooper Foundation and Waco Foundation.
Yes, absolutely.
And so they were already kind of sensing, I bet, we need this. And then you show up into town. It's like, we got our girl now.
I think we could do a thing.
Yeah.
Well, I was a risk because, here I was, this crazy woman from the UK that lands in Waco and says, hey, I think I can help you do a thing. But actually, of course, there had been many conversations and a lot of visioning of what Waco's leveling up, what its next phase would look like. Mm-hmm. And actually I still find this fascinating looking back. When we looked at creating a cultural plan, creating a cultural district, pulling all of those strands of what was already being done well together to create an identity, a cultural identity. What we found was there was about 10 years worth of community engagement, visioning within Waco, the Imagine Waco plan, that sort of thing. Right. Baylor had done a plan, the city had done a plan, the chamber had done a plan. And in all of these plans, we kept seeing we need more arts and culture. We need a performing arts center. We need cultural infrastructure. We want more to do. We want to see more festivals. These things came up again and again. And it became very evident as I kind of unpacked how the ecosystem of the arts work in Texas and in the USA. But also in a city like Waco, that an organization that was essentially an arts council was needed to kind of bring all of that together, but also become a focus point for funding and resources so that some of those ideas could grow arms and legs, and there would actually be ways of leveraging what the city was already putting into cultural development, what Baylor was already putting into cultural development, leveraging that to bring in additional dollars to coalesce ideas and create some shared goals, create sustainability, career development, all of that kind of thing. That sounds boring, but actually, that's the piece that you need in order to have sustainable growth over time. And so that was the piece that we did. And unfortunately, the Waco Foundation and Cooper Foundation really saw that vision, took a chance on me. And then so did the Chamber of Commerce. They were our first home and they were our fiscal sponsors at the beginning as well. And then very soon after that, the city, the Rappaport Foundation, other people also came on board, and we had an organization. Before we knew it, we had a cultural district and an organization. And of course, the growth has been very rapid since then.
And so a big part of what you do is providing grants?
Yes.
I mean, you kind of help take the work that some of these other organizations were doing and say, we're going to let Fiona handle that. Yeah.
And there are a number of reasons that that's important to do. Certainly pump priming for new ideas. We have two grant programs. One is for organizational sustainability for organizations like the Symphony, Civic Theatre.
That's so important.
Absolutely. And where there's kind of an anchor organization that is kind of the beating heart of a particular art form. And we need to make sure that there's continuity there. And then we also have what we call the Arts Match program, AMP, which makes a nice little acronym. But AMP is it is for high impact and innovation in the arts. So it is for nonprofit arts organizations who are doing something new and need some pump priming. But it's a match program, so it means that whatever we put in has to be matched by other sources. But often if there is another source kind of in mind, the fact that we can give a grant is an incentive as well. So it's kind of a both and. But that has proved to be incredibly successful. So for every dollar now that the city and the county put into investing in arts and culture, non-profit arts and culture, over $2 goes back into local tax revenue. So imagine that is a more than 2x return on investment from those grants. So we see that very much as investment, not grant making. I mean, they are grants and people apply for them and they're accountable for them. But the economic impact of that is tremendous. And it means that what was a pretty small sector in our community is now worth $72.4 million a year.
I wanted to know if you had any statistics or what it actually means.
$72.4 million of direct economic impact just from the nonprofit arts and cultural sector in Waco and McLennan County.
That is huge. That is so.
It is.
Doesn't that make you feel so? So describe what is a cultural arts district? Is a particular, a block of
well,
space
kind of
in downtown? What
yes.
is it?
Yes and no. I always say they make you start by drawing lines on a map, but nobody goes to a place because of lines on a map.
No.
Truly, I never go to the Edinburgh Festival because, Edinburgh only has culture within these, blocks. No. It doesn't happen like that. However, it does give us a defined downtown district where there are incentives in the form of things like the Public Improvement District, where there's kind of a concentration of arts and cultural activity. And of course, at state level, there are grants available just for cultural districts, which we, of course, apply for every year.
I was going to say, you also are applying for grants.
Yes, we are. So that's one of the ways we can leverage what's put in at local level. And actually, we can show our state, because they're also putting in dollars for the arts, when they invest in Creative Waco and the activities that we help generate, that returns $2.50 in state sales tax that's directly generated from that activity. So that means that actually the state of Texas has increased its funding for the arts because it has proved to be such a great vehicle for investment and economic growth.
Oh, that is huge. I'm so happy to learn that. I want to know a little bit more about you, though. You were born in England. Of course, you spent a lot of time in Scotland, but in the UK. But tell me about your growing up. I know your mom. I mean, you come from fabric designers.
Yes.
I mean, it's just so neat. I mean, the arts and that kind of creative spark, if you will.
Absolutely.
Is in you.
I came from some very sparky women and men.
Sparky women. I like it.
They were really quite scandalous, I think, in their time.
What, really?
Well, in that my great-grandmother was in the very first Olympic gymnastic team, the very first Olympics that allowed women.
Really?
And there she was in her, Liberty bodice.
Yeah, Liberty.
Which I think we would now consider to be a mini dress, essentially, a short skirt, but, in the 1920s, I think this was
that
1920.
Had to have been,
pretty risque. It was considered to be, daring.
Well, it had to look past, okay, this is an athlete. People were beginning to change their perception,
and even seeing the gymnastics from that
what kind of
Olympics.
Things did they do?
This was the Amsterdam Olympics, and yes, they did kind of group routines, and so they would do very kind of like elegant things, and then they would start cartwheeling or all together.
So tumbling and that kind of thing, but not balance
but kind of as a group.
Did they do that kind of thing back then?
Honestly, I don't know. I do know that they did these kind of team routines.
Right.
And she won a bronze medal. I have the certificate of the Olympic bronze medal in our house.
How awesome is that?
Her daughter, who also swam the channel, the English Channel. I mean, they were definitely pretty lively and athletic.
Goodness.
But they were also passionate about the arts. So my grandmother was an artist. She went to art school. She went to Goldsmiths, and she was an artist for Liberty, the fabric designer in London. Mm-hmm. And so she designed embroidery patterns, which we have several tablecloths that she designed and actually embroidered, kind of as test runs.
So these are hand embroidered, or were they sent to China and done, or how did they do that?
Actually, in those times, a designer like my grandmother would design the floral designs on it, something like a tablecloth, and then women, mainly women, would buy these designs and all of the silks that you needed for the embroidery, and they would make them at home.
Yeah, go with
So
the
it was
hoop.
kind of a craft,
Yeah.
really.
Ah, so
And so then it would be handmade by the woman of the house.
into a
or yes.
fashion, to a dress, or for house goods?
It was mainly for house goods, so
Okay.
things like pillowcases and tablecloths. But she did design some apparel as well. Yeah, which
cool is that?
is so fun because my son is now in apparel design at Baylor, and he makes hats.
I was going to say, now he
And
is
yes.
quite the expert hat maker, and he goes back to England
He does. He just came
to
back.
work for is it a, they call it a hat maker? Or,
Yes.
yeah? As opposed to a
it is a
haberdasher would be
hatter. A haberdasher is for women's hats.
oh, okay.
And so a hatter is for like the Mad Hatter. We do sometimes call him the Mad Hatter. And
He loves that, I know.
he lives up to that sometimes. But so he does men's hats. He specializes in restoration of everything from Western hats to top hats. He definitely has an expertise in silk top hats and restoring
Don't
those.
see a lot of those.
Not so much in Texas, but when he goes to Lock & Co., it's the oldest hat makers in the world. They invented the bowler. There's some argument about whether they invented the top hat, but they certainly were expert hat makers, and they are the royal hat makers. So he was just there.
That is awesome.
It's
So he
such
might have made a hat for
Absolutely.
King Charles?
He worked on several hats for Royal Ascot this year. And so, he would show us pictures of, this is going to Lord somebody or other. And, the men's hats, of course, they wear top hats for Ascot.
Oh, yeah, they dress up
Yeah.
pretty fine.
And he found his people, he's found experts in military hats,
Yeah.
experts in women's hats. So he has this lovely team of young people who are all wanting to go into hat making
That is
as a
wonderful.
career. It's very
Yeah.
niche.
Yeah, very niche. Of course, I'm going to be in the market for a cowboy hat or a Western
Wonderful,
hat. I don't
yes.
really know. I'm sure you have all kinds of hats. I need advice because I don't really know what. I see the ones that are more kind of rounded as opposed to a Western
Yes.
riding hat. I'm
Yes.
just not even sure what, but I don't own one, and I know it's going to be an investment.
Well, and he is definitely the one to ask. He
Okay,
has a booth.
all right, let's make an appointment.
He has a booth at Falcon and Owl.
does he?
Yes, so you can
Okay.
go to Falcon and Owl and see some of the blanks that he has available. And
that's what I need to do.
his superpower is being able to look at somebody and know what will flatter them. So he has that kind of.
Okay, well that's all right. I'm so
Yeah.
glad I asked.
He can also
I knew he did this,
reshape,
but
if you have a historic hat or something, want it reshaped into a more modern shape.
oh, really?
He
So
can do
you
that
can
too.
kind of
Yeah.
accommodate what you already have. Well, that's wonderful.
We have great skills in Waco.
Well, and also, shifting gears, music. You play a lot of music. You play the bagpipes.
I do play the bagpipes,
Yeah.
and yes, we are lucky enough. Torin, the hat maker, is also a bagpiper.
I knew that.
I
I knew that
grew
as
up
well.
learning violin and viola, playing both in string quartets and
so I
orchestras.
did not know you play the viola. Yeah.
Yeah, violin and viola. I pretty much interchanged between those instruments.
Are you
just
still
depending what-
playing a lot? Are you?
Not as much
keep-
as I should. I do a little bit. And I did some fiddling. So like English fiddling for like country dance groups, that kind of thing, folk
Well,
groups.
Yeah, I can imagine like in an Irish pub or in a pub.
Yes, it's
That
kind
kind
of
of-
the English equivalent. And, when we lived in Scotland, I did some Scottish fiddling too. And Torin, the bagpiping, hat making son, he also did some fiddling. He learned violin as well and did both Western and Scottish fiddling when he was pretty little.
I love it. Well, now, of all the arts, do you have like a favorite? I mean, do you like the visual arts more, the music,
Actually, I think...
not to ask your favorite child.
Yes,
but
no, and clearly I have two boys who I love very much, and I cannot, clearly we do not have a favorite child,
No.
and just the same with the arts. What I would say is my favorite is seeing somebody who has passion and interest and expertise, being able to bring that to fruition in Waco, to develop that skill in Waco, and building audiences here around that. So while I don't really have a favorite art form, I do have a favorite kind of experience. And that is introducing people to an art form that they might not have encountered, or to a kind of expertise that they might not have encountered. And that is thrilling for both sides.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that is true, because people do kind of get in their little ruts,
Yes.
and to be able to kind of
We have
become
a
aware
carpet.
of something.
We have a carpet designer in Waco and I'm so curious to see her studio. And
Who is this?
she's actually married to one of the coaches in Baylor Athletics.
She's
And,
a carpet designer.
Yes, a rug designer and carpet designer. And yes, imagine that as a creative spark event. Let's go and see a studio of designing
Oh,
carpets.
yeah.
Also, someone on my team makes rugs. She designs and hand makes rugs. And she's actually
Right.
had several artistic rugs displayed as part of exhibitions. So imagine that. We have these people in Waco.
That is great. Of course, I think fall is coming up. You know, Dia de los Muertos.
Yes.
You do help organize the parade, or what?
We have an amazing team who are very experienced and authentically Hispanic and love organizing Dia de los Muertos. So they are part of our team. Eric Linares, who of course you know.
Yes, right.
Julie Cervantes. And then we have people like Roxana Robles, who makes amazing outfits for it. Nancy Pulsin. I mean, just this incredible group of extremely talented people who are like the core organizing group. So it will be November 1st.
I was going to say, it's always on All Saints Day. The day
It's as
after
close.
Halloween?
It's the Saturday that's as close
Okay.
as possible. So technically, I think it is November 2nd is
The actual
Dia de los
day.
Muertos.
Okay.
But November 1st, it's part of that. It's really a whole week of
Uh-huh.
celebration. And so the Saturday of that week is always when we have the Dia de los Muertos parade and festival.
And where was that? Where will that be held?
It is downtown and along University Parks.
Okay.
And at Indian Spring Park. So the parade is along University Parks, kind of from Indian Spring Middle School, kind of just from the far side of that, all the way along University Parks to Indian Spring. It is a feast for the eyes.
I'm sure. Oh,
It
pictures
is
and things that I've seen. Yeah.
gorgeous. And
So is
a
it
real
cultural
invitation.
appropriation if someone who's not, if a gringo gets involved?
So that
Or
was
not?
a question I had,
Yeah.
because, clearly I am not Hispanic. And each year Roxana makes me an amazing outfit.
Oh, isn't she
and I
a
get
wonderful fashion
she's
designer?
incredible.
Yes, right.
And I get my makeup done by someone. So the response is this. It's an invitation. This is an invitation from the Hispanic community to participate.
I love it.
So as long as people do it with an attitude of respect and of really wanting to learn what it's about, really wanting to participate wholeheartedly, then it is not appropriation. Appropriation is more when you show up to a Halloween party and you are dressed as a Native American, kind of making fun of.
No.
So
Yeah,
it's
right.
more as long as where it comes from is authentically joyful and inquisitive and part of learning who we are as a culture here, then it is not cultural appropriation. And that is what my friends tell me. So I am holding on to that.
Let's go with that. I love that.
And this year we're actually trying something new, which we're very excited about. So we are getting together with all of the animal charities, the animal rescue charities.
Oh, good, yeah.
And this year our theme is Aleigh, which is spirit animals. It is the animals that help guide you to the afterlife in mythology. And so we are showcasing adoptable animals in costume.
Good.
And having a kind of adoption zone. You can find your spirit animal at the parade and festival. So this is a really, we love our animal charities.
Yeah.
We figure that this is a really good way of promoting the work that they do. Also, we know that there are adoptable animals that really need to be adopted to free up space in some of those facilities. And how fun to combine that with the parade and the festival. And in that spirit have these, these animals there as part of the event.
That is wonderful. That's wonderful. I want to see Sam Brown
Yes.
done up with all the makeup. Yeah.
Yes.
the Fuzzy
Oh, I
Friends. That'll
fully
be fun.
expect him to be dressed up as well.
I bet he will be. I bet he will be. This is wonderful. So this is in November. We're a little ways off from
Yes.
that. What is the next thing you're seeing in general for culture? We haven't even talked about the Performing Arts Center. So
Yes.
what's the latest on that?
Yes, so it is part of the city's plan. It is phase 2 of their downtown plans. There are amazing renderings. We are
it's gonna
very
be stunning.
excited about that moving forward. It's going to be a philanthropic lift, and it's going to be a lift from everybody. You know, if we want to make this happen, then we are going to have to all find money to make that happen.
And it's often the same people that are giving money to everything. But
Well, and let's hope that, you know, for this becomes something that, you know, there are new people and new companies in our community. There are naming rights for what will be probably the most well-located performing arts center in the southern US, right by the river. I mean, someone's going to want their name on that building for sure. And so let's hope that person is listening.
wouldn't that be great?
Reaches out.
Just write a
If
check.
anyone has a spare, you know, $100 million,
That's right.
we're practically
Piece of
there.
cake, yeah.
Yes. So I'm excited about that because it
Yeah.
is an achievable goal for our community, and it would be a game changer. 2,000-seat auditorium, 250-seat black box theatre, all of the kind of mixing and mingling spaces that go around that. Also, the capability with technology developed in Waco to be able to have live streaming on the outside of the building in a kind of amphitheatre situation facing the river, live streaming of what's going on inside the building. So that kind of opens up a whole new way of experiencing live arts performances. So imagine being on your boat on the Brazos and you're watching a live performance from the river, or you're right there in the little amphitheater area by the river, sipping your drink, watching the screen with your like live stream earbuds in that you've maybe paid a few dollars to get the sound as
Right.
well as you can see the screen. You're there with your family, and it doesn't matter if little Jimmy is like screaming his
Running
head
around,
off,
yeah,
because
right.
if you're listening, you've got earbuds. So it's a very
How
family-friendly
interesting
kind
is
of
that?
yes. And so Waco would really be truly unique in having that kind of a facility.
Yeah.
It would also make us one of the best, if not the best, festival city in the southern US, because we would have this whole portfolio of spaces from the stadium all the way down to the convention center, including our outdoor spaces. Imagine a festival that takes in the stadium, the pavilion, the performing arts center, the parks, all along the riverfront. I
That
want to
is-
see that happen for
Oh
sure.
my goodness. Is there an idea? I mean, aside from the 100 million naming rights we need, when it
What
might
do we
happen?
need? Well, it does depend on funding.
Yeah.
So, you know, how long is a piece of string? But now kind of is the moment, because now is when downtown Waco is developing. And so, you know, even though we have economic ups and downs, this is our moment. We are going to be the generation that develops downtown Waco for future generations. If we don't do it now, then we've lost that opportunity. And I really think, you know, we're already a cultural destination. We already have people coming from all over the world to Waco to experience arts and cultural and sporting events. Imagine we add that to the portfolio, and all of a sudden we become the place that Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth come to for a weekend break.
Yeah.
That really is a game changer economically, culturally, in terms of the kinds of things we can present, because we really have nowhere that you could put on something like a Broadway show, something like a major festival. We just don't have those spaces where you could have something for, you know, more than a one night only type experience. And we don't have loading for scenery in any of our performing arts spaces. We don't have green room space for a full cast.
No, you're right.
We don't have anything that would facilitate that. So it really would be a game changer. It's not just about let's have a 2,000 seat auditorium. It is actually about, we really do need facilities where a touring production or a homegrown production could be staged.
It is.
And our symphony.
So, oh gosh.
Imagine the symphony being able to do more than 5 gigs a year.
I know. I know. Yeah. No, this is amazing. This is wonderful. Fiona, you are amazing and wonderful, and I just cannot thank you enough for carving out a little time for us
so much
here.
for letting me talk about my favorite topic.
Oh my gosh, this has just been a delight for me, and I appreciate everything you're doing. So how can folks help you out? I mean,
well, definitely they can become a Creative Spark.
There you go.
You can look up Creative Spark Waco, and you will immediately find out all of the details about how to sign up, and also some testimonials from some of our existing Sparks. Obviously, we will always accept donations to the organization. Sure. Actually, we currently have just launched sponsorship opportunities for Dia de los Muertos.
Okay,
so
good.
if you are a company, or if you want to get in front of 7,500 people having fun in our downtown, if you want to be part of that, and if you want your company to be part of that, definitely look up that opportunity.
Yeah.
And then we're also about to relaunch our Levitt concert series, which will be every Wednesday from the beginning of September. Wednesday evenings with the Farmers Market on Bridge Street Amphitheatre. And that is just a free, family-friendly concert, different musical genres every week. Come, bring the family, enjoy, and dive into our cultural scene.
Oh, so much. There is so much. And we are in your debt for saying, yeah, let's look at Waco. Maybe, okay, why not?
Sure,
Baylor,
what could possibly go wrong with checking it out?
What could go wrong? And then here you just, with all you've done.
It's a joy. And what a privilege to get to do the work that we do, Anne.
Yeah, I know.
We get to be in the middle of truly exciting initiatives.
Yeah. Well, it's all good, and I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Fiona Bond, thank you so much. Well, stay with us. When we come back, we'll be hearing about Designer Purse Bingo. This is benefiting the Advocacy Center for Crime Victims and Children, so stay with us.
When you view the glass half full, the little things become magical. Like kicking back and sharing laughs, spread good vibes, and they'll come back. Celebrate what you love with what you wear, even if what you love is kind of weird. Life is good in super soft tees that spark smiles and connectivity. 10% of profits go to help kids heal. So choose optimism and make the magic real. Visit lifeisgood.com.
I wanted to share a secret. I travel internationally every year. I struggle with insomnia both at home and especially in hotels. When I saw something called Fly Kit, what it promotes is there are herbal supplements to take that help you get your circadian rhythm reset into a new time zone. This was life-changing. It's called Fly Kit. I got 2 programs of it. My favorite aspect of the Fly Kit is it tells you when to sleep.
Fabled Bookshop is celebrating 6 years with a practically perfect weekend of events. There is musical theater trivia night on August 22nd and a Mary Poppins storytime on the 23rd, with themed giveaways, kite crafts, and festive drinks you do not want to miss this weekend at Fabled. Waxahachie is celebrating their 175th birthday bash at the Rail Yard Park, August 22nd at 7 p.m. The city is bringing you a drone show, food trucks, community art displays, kids' activities, and so much more. Go support our neighbors to the north and get some cookies courtesy of HEB. Wild Thistle Herbs and Alchemy Herbal Incense Crafting is happening tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Join them at 3000 Colcord Avenue for a thoughtfully curated craft that will leave your home smelling amazing and the vibe set right. I'm Elizabeth Riley with Act Locally Waco, and I will see you next time.
Their submaker's mark and throw in an olive or two. No, it's just me, Nobody else, not a care, not a chance, not a clue. Where I go from here, or from now, I'll just sit on this creaky old wooden stool. I'll muster more charm with each vanishing glass and make believe I'm not a fool. Could this be true? I'll make a deal with you. Don't let me drive. Send a message or place a call. I promise to try not to drain every bottle up on that wall. I'll handle my heart. You keep me alive. Just don't let me thirst, don't let me remember, and don't let me drive. I hate that tomorrow will be 18 years since she first made me laugh. I hate even more that tomorrow is here in just under an hour and a half. And when she would laugh, she'd wrinkle her nose. Man, it looked like never mind. Right now, the bottom of this whiskey glass is the only thing I wanna find. Could this be real? Don't forget our deal. And don't let me drive. Send a message or place a call. I promise to try not to drain every bottle up on that wall. I'll handle my heart. You keep me alive. Just don't let me thirst, don't let me remember, and don't let me drive. I'm counting on you to help pull me through. No, don't let me drive. Send a message or place a call. I promise to try not to drain every bottle up on that wall. I'll handle my heart. You keep me alive. Just don't let me thirst, don't let me remember that she was my first, who I'll always remember. And even if I nurse this one till September, don't let me dry. Thanks.
Revive Superfood Smoothies. Pill, pour, blend, and enjoy. All within the comfort of my own home.
Revive Superfood Smoothies. Peel, blend, and enjoy. Fast and easy, and I'm out the door.
And we are back, and I am so happy to welcome my friends from the Advocacy Center for Crime Victims and Children, because we're going to talk about purses. We're going to talk about handbags. It is the wonderful designer purse bingo that is coming up in about a month. Mm-hmm. But tickets, Aleigh, are going fast, right?
Yes, we are. We were just talking before we came into the studio that we've been doing purse bingos for about a decade, give or take a little bit because of not having the events because of COVID. And so we're excited. It sells out pretty much every year. And so, we have a few single tickets left and some tables. I'll let Jennifer talk a little bit about that.
Well, we are welcoming Jennifer Getterman, who is the new development director, just kind of been on the job for really a matter of weeks, but welcome.
Thank
you. This is really this is quite a fun event because a little bit of gambling involved.
That's right.
I guess.
That's right.
And as a result, you need to be 21 to be a part of this.
That's right, yes. It's a really great event. It's classic bingo meets luxury handbags. It's really fun. Like Aleigh said, we are pretty close to selling out on single tickets and some tables. We do have sponsorship still available.
Yeah, so part of your sponsorship is to help underwrite the cost of the handbags.
Yes.
Because these are not just your typical,
No.
what you might find at Target.
Yes. No. They are designer bags. We have Louis Vuitton, the Neverfull bag. That is our luxury raffle this year. But then we offer some bags from Tory Burch, Coach, Michael Kors, the Moncleif bag right here, Kate Spade. So we have a great selection of bags.
So about how many do you bingo off?
We have about 15. We'll do about 15 rounds of bingo, and then some rounds where you have an opportunity to win. We'll offer 2 bags, so there'll be 2 winners for that event.
And there'll be one round, a blackout round, where everyone at the table wins a purse.
What?
Yeah. So there's lots of exciting, fun games like that. There's pull tabs. There's a silent auction happening. There's opportunities to buy more cards and drawings. And so it's not just you can win purses, but you can win other things as well. And you can win a purse for your whole table. And we should say, too, that the Louis Vuitton, as our raffle, all the other purses, you, of course, have to be there playing bingo to win.
Sure.
But the Louis Vuitton, you can win. You don't have to be present to win. So you can purchase raffle tickets online on our website. You can contact Jennifer to purchase them. And then if you, we would love for you to be there the night of the event. It's always more fun when someone who's there gets to win and we get the hand in the bag.
Screaming.
Yes. But we have had winners who were not there. And so if you would like your chance at a bag, at the bag, you don't let not being able to attend keep you from purchasing some tickets.
Well, this is a Sunday afternoon event.
That's right.
Or late afternoon, right?
Yes. It's Sunday, September 21st. Doors open at 1 o'clock, and then bingo starts at 2:30.
All right.
Kendra Scott will be there with the pop-up shop.
Really?
And then we call them Lucky Ducks, and it's kind of like a mystery box. So we are offering purses, jewelry, accessories. So you can purchase those and then kind of be surprised with a gift.
Well, it's fun. What a fun event. I mean, there's refreshments, there's
Absolutely.
desserts. I know you've got some wonderful sponsors already.
We do,
You
yes.
want to share?
La
some?
Fiesta is our catering, and
Good.
then Fox 44 and the Zimmerman Law Firm are our dessert sponsors. Blooming Gals is our floral sponsor. So
Yeah, so generous. I mean, all of these wonderful sponsors already, but you have room
Yes.
for other sponsors.
we do. And then also First National Bank of Central Texas is our photo booth sponsor, but then we also have, we still have a presenting sponsor available, a bar sponsor, several sponsorships still available. So there are opportunities.
Right, and of course your premier handbag, right?
Yes.
That still has not got a sponsor yet?
That's right. There's still not a sponsor for that.
And it's
the value of the bag is $2,400. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I wouldn't know what to do if I had a handbag that cost that much.
And raffle tickets, you can buy one ticket for $20. So even if you just buy one ticket, you could own a $2,400 bag for $20. But we would encourage you to purchase multiple tickets.
Well,
better your chances.
Yeah, but what a fun event! I mean, what a delightful way for folks to get together to support the Advocacy Center. So, Aleigh, let's talk about the work that you all do. I mean, this is a fun event, but it's not fun what you have to deal with.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. We try and look for fun ways to bring the community together to help support the work that we do, which of course is very broadly offering services and support to anyone who's been a victim of a violent crime or child abuse and their families. And so we do that in a lot of different ways, kind of under one roof. Any child who is abused in our 6-county service area comes through our doors if there's a report made to CPS or law enforcement. So we kind of help them and their families through the investigation process. We offer medical exams. Dr. Sue Battle, I know, has been on your show before. She is our child sexual abuse medical examiner. We have our victim center that offers counseling and therapy for children, adults, even if a crime happened to someone many years ago. We have older adults in their 80s even receiving services for abuse that happened to them when they were a child, So we have therapy and counseling. We also have a 24-hour crisis hotline for anyone who has experienced sexual assault, and our staff respond to both local hospitals here in Waco to accompany those folks through their sexual assault forensic exam and through that process. And then while all of that's going on, our prevention and education department is working in our schools and in our communities to help prevent all of that happening in the first place, offering really creative programming and opportunities for youth and for adults and for students to engage in violence prevention work and activities. So we're kind of trying to address violence at every point. We're responding to it in the emergency when it happens. We get the honor of walking with people as they heal from that act of violence, and then we are also working to prevent it from happening. So.
Oh, yeah, what a all-encompassing work that you're doing, and it's so necessary. Wish it were not necessary. I've said that before, but a big part of that is going through the whole judicial process. If the perpetrator, hopefully that person can be caught and prosecuted, but that's a whole nother trauma then for the victim and the family.
Yeah. We work really, really closely. We use a multidisciplinary team model. What that means is that each week we are meeting with law enforcement, CPS, the district attorney's office, anyone who sort of has involvement in a child's case, to make sure that that child and their family are receiving all of the services available to them, and to have all those professionals in one room kind of working on that case together. And so we don't for counseling, it's not a limited number of sessions. And one of the reasons it's like that is because a child who has experienced abuse often needs counseling right after that's happened, right after they first start coming to use our services. But then when it goes to trial, if it does, you're correct. A lot of times they're remembering what happened. They're having to talk about what happened again. And so then they can come back, and they often do come back to receive counseling again to kind of help them through that as well.
Yeah, all this support, though, it costs money. And I guess we're raising money. And Jennifer, just briefly want to find out what brought you to the Advocacy Center, to this job. Last time I think we talked, it was back at the TV station, and you were with the Junior League. We were doing Deck the Halls.
Yeah, so I've always had a passion for volunteering.
Yeah.
And volunteered with many organizations around town. And my focus had always been kind of on fundraising, fund developing, marketing, advertising, and this position opened up, and I just felt that it would be a good fit and a calling. So I'm lucky to be here and learning all the things. And
what a fun first event for you, and that's Designer Purse Bingo.
Yes.
Again, this is going to be on Sunday, September 21st at Lee Lockwood, and this is the downstairs. Of course, wonderful place because great parking, one level. It's just, it's a terrific venue for this event. Must be 21.
That's right.
Yes.
And you need to have a ticket. So how can folks get a ticket or buy a table?
Sure, they can visit our website and purchase tickets on our website, or they can call and ask to speak to me, and I can help walk them through their steps to purchase tickets.
Yeah, this is the Advocacy Center for Crime Victims and Children. Aleigh, Ascherl, thank you so much. And Jennifer Getterman, good to have you aboard. And when's the next event after we do this? I mean,
Mardi Gras Ball.
All right, Mardi Gras Ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll be back.
Oh, absolutely. Well, thank you both.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.